Northerners. Hello, welcome to the UKLC. We were talking about roast dinner. We're really hungry.
That was perfect timing. Just flawless.
So, just to add some context, in the north they just have Yorkie puddings of everything. As much as I love Yorkie puddings, they're for beef.
I don't know if that's just a northern thing. Maybe that's just an us thing. Maybe it's just we crave the Yorkshire puddings.
Oh man, I
feel like I mean, some people say that they just don't have Yorkshire puddings at Sunday roast at all.
What?
Yeah, there are people who.
Here's the real question, because my auntie's from the Midlands, so when she comes over, she buys frozen Yorkies, and we're like, "What the hell are you doing? You gotta have."
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think frozen Yorkies are that bad. Like you can actually prepare them really quickly. They're not bad,
but like make them, man. Like it's really easy. It's pancake mix. That's all it is.
Aunt Bessie's. I'm not gonna lie. You get some frozen Aunt Bessie's, whack them in the oven, take a minute. They're pretty solid.
I'll repeat what I said, Northerners. Right, we're into the game. So we got Set, Ezreal, the Graves, and the Syndra band away. Sorry, guys, about the delay again. Unfortunately, it's been a bunch of issues on the tournament client today, and it has just put so many bumps in the road. But hopefully they'll all be ironed out by tomorrow. Everything should be good. But we are into our fourth and final game. MnM Academy taking on Bulldog. MnM on the blue, Bulldog on the red. The Trundle is going to be the final ban here from MnM Academy, and Bulldog now looking to make their final ban. The Varus and the Fresh are still open. Caitlyn's going to get banned away here, so maybe we'll just see the first pick Varus.
I honestly literally saw Harry tweet earlier today and say, I'm going to try have a non-Caitlyn split. Clearly a pocket pick for him, but looks like they didn't see the tweet or just more concerned about that than other picks. But ultimately, MnM end up going for the Aphelios, so that Varus still open and available for Bulldog if they want to take it.
And the Fresh as well. You could actually pick up a Varus Fresh lane here, which would be insanely strong. But they are opting for the Ornn for the moment. That's going to be the Fresh. They know they can get the Ornn for the Ornn Fresh and pick the Varus up later. Because unless Vango wants to play at mid, there's not going to be any denial on that Varus.
Yeah, so smart rotation. You get two big power picks there that really set up your team well. Now, question is, will MnM go for something like the Braum to answer the Ornn, or are they just going to take Karma and go for the lane and strength? And this could be flexed. It could go mid lane. Obviously provides that bit of utility in the later stages to that Aphelios and gives them that shielding. But ultimately, Karma is a vulnerability against the Thresh if it does go into the bot lane. A lot of potential just to land that hook. And then as soon as it connects, pretty easy pickings. Now, could see a jungler come out in this first rotation. We've seen Trundle and Graves taken off the cards. So there's still a few options available, but it's like it's going to be that Kindred coming in.
So Gadonica going to get his hands onto the Kindred. Now, I believe we actually saw the Kindred coming from Gadonica in the qualifiers. I can't be 100% sure on that, but I'm fairly certain we did. That's the Ziggs pickup. So it looks like we might just have a fresh Ziggs bot lane.
Yeah, and Thresh offers that safety. Often when we see these mages in the bot lane, Thresh pairs really well with them because he offers that safety element, offers that ability to get out, and they offer the wave clear. It also means once Ziggs shoves the wave in, the Thresh can move and start to establish pressure on the rest of the lane. Now, up against a Karma, a little bit trickier to get that priority, but once you hit sort of item power spikes like that Luden's, very easy to do so. But ultimately, MnM have already established a lot of protection for this Aphelios. They have a second carry in the Kindred. They have a lot of shield, and they have the Kindred ult as well. So they really just need the composition to be rounded out with some early pressure and potentially a strong frontline option to go on the top lane. For now, though, we've seen mid lane is banned away from Bulldog, so the threat of the LeBlanc and also the safety of the Azir, whereas MnM targeting these junglers. I think Gragas would be a suitable ban here because obviously denies that burst potential that can also combo into the ult to knock them out off the Kindred ult, but ultimately the reason they may not go towards it is Gragas would make this Bulldog lineup very AP heavy overall, but we'll have to see. Could still be an option here for Fortel. I think that's probably the option they'll go for in this situation. Actually going for the Nidalee.
That's a bit of a change up. The Nidalee locked in for Fortel now. Over to MnM Academy. Looking for either a mid lane or a support, depending on what they want to do with this Karma, and then a top laner. You were hitting on that you'd like to see a more tanky, a more engaged frontline top laner. And it looks like Aragon's thinking about it with the Tree Man. We'll have to see if they lock that in to round out this comp. They are missing a frontline at the moment.
Just take a fairly neutral matchup into the Ornn. You're fine with that one. You can just sort of scale up in that situation. I talked about the Braum being a potential option into the Ornn. It's up to you. I don't feel like you necessarily need it. You could go the Lulu for the extra scaling, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to what you want to facilitate your team for. This would mean that the Karma is going into the mid lane if they lock in this Braum, something that was a possibility. It provides priority, it provides rotational strength, but they are humming and hawing. They've opted to go for the Lulu, so more scaling, good trading power in the lane, but it won't stop the Ornn engages. And obviously doesn't offer as much of a safety net.
Now we're looking around the comp out here. Like you're saying, very AP heavy. So an AD mid would be ideal. And that's the Yasuo locked in for Thomas Go.
I just had to double check the bans.
That means we are actually going to see the...
I mean, it's not just me, right? It's not just me that like thinks Gragas would have been the better pick here. Because surely Gragas Yasuo is a really strong combination.
Yep.
You're picking them in the same rotation, so it's not like you're concerned about being banned away. Gragas is good into Kindred. I just don't see... I mean, I understand the reason for picking Nidalee in isolation, but if you're going to take the Yasuo later, I don't see why you wouldn't have gone Gragas in this scenario, because it just provides you better setup. It's a strong early jungler who can gank effectively. Your ult counteracts Kindred ult. For me, the Gragas is the pick that I would have by all means taken in this situation. Now, what the Nidalee is going to do is she's very much a momentum-based jungler, which really looks to counteract Kindred. Kindred wants to get those early stacks. He wants to become a monster in later stages. If you can shut him down, that'll never happen, and he may end up just becoming useless and essentially an ult bot. But ultimately, despite all that, Nidalee can really struggle in the later stages, especially against the sheer amount of shielding on this composition coming out. So I'm not a big fan, but we'll have to see. If Fortal can have a huge performance in this scenario, maybe he can prove me wrong.
We'll have to see as we will be loading through into Summoners Rift for our fourth and final game of the day. Very excited to see this Yasuo. We saw it bound away at the beginning of the day, I believe.
Yeah, we did.
Gadonika's Kindred is what's got me intrigued here. Because that wombo combo that you can find with the Ornn Yasuo can just get instantly denied by the Lamb's Respite from Gadonika. And then the turnaround with the shields onto Aphelios. When you've got the Karma Lulu, this is really Harry's game to take over if he gets the tools given to him. So we'll have to see how that's going to break down for him as we're loading through into Summoners Rift nice and short and getting into our final game of day one of the UKLC. Fortunately, it has been plagued a little bit by a few technical issues here and there, but they've all been ironed out. We finally got it sorted. I'm sorry about that half an hour break we had in between game 2 and 3, but we are getting ready to take to the Rift. Now, one thing that's noticed me, Orcs, is we've actually got 2 Jacobs in the lead.
Yeah.
How did that really fly under the radar?
It's really irritating, in all honesty, but we'll have to just refer, we can either say bot lane Jacob, mid lane Jacob. We can either go, Bulldog Jacob and Enclave Jacob. There's ways to distinguish. I think it'll be worse when they're facing up against each other. That will be the worst scenario. Bulldog against Enclave. But sometimes it does be that way. We have a lot of players who just have their names. Like we got Jacob, we have Harry on the opposite side.
Yeah.
We have Tom. Well, I'm assuming Thomas Go. His name is Thomas.
Yeah.
It's just
Gadonika. His name is actually Gadonika.
Not so sure about that one.
It's not. I don't know. Could be.
We have Aragon, who's named himself after a book.
Yeah, and a really bad film.
Yeah, I'm certain that he named himself after the film.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%. Definitely not. That's exactly what happened. You nailed it there, Jake. If
he's a big fan of Jeremy Irons, then what can you do?
I think even if you're a big fan of Jeremy Irons, you still don't name yourself after the film.
I don't understand Jeremy Irons. Like, he's a really good actor, but he's in a lot of garbage films. Like, he's in so many bad films, trying his best to carry them. And maybe that's why it is. Maybe that's the long form reason. Well, Aragon considers himself like Jeremy Irons.
At the end of the day,
player who tries to carry under bad circumstances.
At the end of the day, Jake, sometimes you have to earn a living. And if I'm willing to come on this cast and carry you, then I don't see why he's not willing to try and carry the film.
Oh, you can tell our brains are melting at this point. We are
I'd have
loading
said this
into
at
the
any
game,
point.
but we're still looking at a loading screen, unfortunately. So hopefully it won't be too long.
Oh well.
We're getting a message from production, so
we can enjoy each other's company for longer. So
all right, how about this?
Hit me with it.
Let's go back to that game I played earlier where Dodge Duo report. Let's look at the players in this game. Who are you dodge during or reporting?
Ooh. Are we basing it on like the players or the champions right now?
Actually, I'm going to reverse that. Let's do it with our teams. Our 8 teams in the UKLC. If they were just one entity and not, like 5 different people, one entity, we're looking at every kind of aspect from their social media presence, their players, their skill.
I mean, you say that, but I'm just going to say flat out, duo is with Enclave because it's got my boy Shogun. We actually duoed a lot earlier this season, and he's got a place in my heart, so definitely duo with Enclave.
Okay.
Dodge, probably months after the performance last game, in all honesty.
That's fair. And report, probably Munster after the last game.
Yeah, they get a double whammy.
All right, we're loading through onto the Summoners Rift for our 4th and final game here at the UKLC Week 1, Day 1. It's MnM Academy taking on Bulldog. In all seriousness, though, who are you reporting?
Tell you what, whoever loses this game gets my report.
Okay.
The gauntlet's been thrown down. That is the true cost of losing here, which is, and that's what everyone cares about, is whether or not I report them. And obviously, I only report people who are like deserving of a report.
Yeah. Don't abuse the report function,
You've seen those people on stream who just like, they'll finish a game and they'll report every single person on their team.
Yeah, as long as they lose, it's everyone's fault.
Yeah.
That's not what the report function does. You don't cull the weeds by pulling out the entire
Here's
plant.
a question for you. Have you ever reported a pre-made?
No, because I honestly am not smart enough to know if they're pre-made. The only way I know is if they've got that tag.
I mean, have you ever reported your pre-made, like your duo or something?
Once.
Okay,
He was my old co-caster from when I started casting, and I was playing Ari, and I went 1v5, pulled off the sickest pentakill ever. Although it wasn't a pentakill, because he shot an ash arrow from base and it sniped the kill as my final Foxfire was flying towards the Zyra for the pentakill. Still gives me nightmares. That's the only time I've ever reported my duo. And he deserved it.
Steal, actually. He deserved
it. It was a 6 steal. To be fair, it was a 6 steal, but also screw him.
That's a Kobe and a half.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, fair. So someone steals. So if I had stolen your penta when you got that one at Gangplank, you would have reported me.
No, I would have been tilted, but I wouldn't have reported you.
Wow, I'm honored.
He was a muppet and he deserved it.
Well, harsh words. Anyway, so get into the game. Obviously, the early pressure from a Karma can be pretty frustrating. The consistent poke that can come out in a range this money matchup. Ultimately, Yasuo looking for that opportunity to all in. He does have the ignite, so that all in pressure is there. Conqueror as well, if you can stack it up, can be big. Other than that, we're seeing priority in the bot lane expected when you have double ranged against ranged. Although Thresh is technically ranged, doesn't really match up to the likes of a Lulu in terms of that shoving and that pressure. Question is, when it bounces back, could there be an opportunity? Because right now, you don't really want to fight when there's a cannon minion and a bunch of casters because they do a lot of damage. Once the wave has been cleared, there's opportunities. But for now, Kindred is on the bot side of the map, so you got to respect that one. And we do see both junglers just willing to trade off Scuttle Crabs on opposite sides of the map.
All right, well, it's been a bit of a quieter one compared to our last game, which was action, action, action at all stages of the game. Looking to get himself a little bit of farm as Thomas is actually getting jumped. Gananuka flashes underneath the tower. And now Fortel going to miss out on the spear. Got the slows coming in with that double buff. And Gananuka is able to dodge away. Does take the arrow. Fortel may just go for this underneath the tower. Jumps in. Gananuka goes for the outplay though. Is going to miss out on the spear once again. Gananuka almost goes down. A fantastic play there by Gananuka to hold his life. Both of the junglers really going hard.
Both of them overreaching, burning flashes for those scenarios, but neither one going down. Bit of aggression around that mid lane, and I think it sort of shows the importance of that. Actually, TP coming in.
Yeah, they're looking for the play here in the bot lane. Jacob going to get the Lantern out, but Vango jumps in forward, gets the tether off. They're looking for the slow. Look at the damage. It's first blood picked up for Vango. Hook is going to land onto the Lulu. Dreampire just going to take a slap on the wrist from Fresh. Not going to find himself the kill.
Great play from Vango. He saw the opportunity with the ward in place, with the wave pushed up. Ultimately, though, Girish did misplay a little bit there. When you lantern someone in that scenario, you should flash before they get to you, and then you can just extend the distance. Then Jacob could have also flashed, and you probably would have been able to get away from that situation. You burned both sums anyway, and you lost your bot laner. So ultimately, definitely could have been played better by Girish there, but a good heads-up play by Vango, already looking to sort of establish pressure in the other lanes. And that's what you hope for the Karma. You hope to have priority mid lane. You hope to translate that pressure elsewhere, especially when, if you look at this composition, the two people you want to sort of get fed are this Aphelios and this Kindred. And that comes from mid lane leaning over to offer assistance to them.
They able to hold out on the CS as well there for Vango. Teleports in bot lane, makes it back up to lane, and actually doesn't really bleed out too much to Thomas Go. Thomas Go is still doing a pretty good job of kind of bullying him around in the lane. Once that level 6 comes down, Thomas could always look for that all-in. He's got the ignite pressure available to him. So Vango now is able to clear through the wave.
I feel like if you had a Gragas, then as soon as you hit that level 6, the Karma's dead. And I feel like,
to be honest, if they had a Gragas, that gank mid lane probably would have resulted in a kill.
Yeah. I don't know. I've gone on a lot about this in draft and gone on again about it here. It just really seems like a missed opportunity for me. I mean, Lily has her own strengths, but I think we might find more and more situations that would have been favorable.
Oh, Thomas actually has that level 6 available, almost connecting the tornado. Not going to find it, though. Skadonica looks to start up this dragon. Remember, they don't really have the mid prior to actually go for this, but Jacob just going all in and getting caught out by Harry. Gets the snipe, and Harry just finds the kill nice and easy. They may just lose the Mountain Drake for this, but I think they could be happy, although a bit of a collapse is coming in. The Call of the Forge God's been summoned. The team fight's on. Thomas lands himself the knock off of the Harry, goes into the last breath, and is able to find himself the kill. In comes the Nature's Grasp out from the Maokai. They're looking to try and turn it back around. MnM's health bars are low, and they are sent packing. They got themselves a kill, but they traded out equally in the long run and lose the Mountain Dragon.
But it was a great start for MnM where they got that first kill. Jacob out of position, hands over a kill to Harry, who by all means best player to get that gold in on your team. And then it's 5 vs 4 on the map. But Aragon just holds his TP for such a long time, and I have no idea why. You TP in early, you instantly have the 5v4, Maokai starts locking people down, particularly the Yasuo, and then the fight is yours. Poor decision off a good play, ends up going in favor of Bulldog because it was a 1-for-1 trade and Bulldog got the dragon, so just a mistake from MnM Academy.
Much like the dragons in the book, Aragon is missing.
That's actually a spoiler, isn't it?
Probably. If you haven't read Aragon by now or watched it by now,
maybe someone was hearing us talk about it, right, on cast, and was like, you know what? After this cast, I'm gonna go order the Aragon book, maybe get an ebook, and then I'm gonna read it, and you've just ruined it for them. So I hope you feel guilty.
It's not that much of a spoiler.
Did you know Darth Vader is Luke's father? That's spoiler.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, Hook lands into the Mega Inferno Bomb. Dreampire gonna go down. Harry is exhausted. The slows are on. He's burning low here.
Oh,
double kill for Fortel. Beautiful spear by the Nidalee now. They can move over and get themselves the Rift Herald as well. Bulldog. She's playing a fantastic job there in the top lane.
Just one of the vulnerabilities of this Lulu. Thresh great at setting up onto these enchanters in the bot lane. Easy to land a hook and then have the follow-up, and some good skill shots coming out from Jacob and Fortel. Turn that from being one fairly easy kill to 2 kills, because a couple of skill shots going a little bit wide, and that definitely could have been a situation where they only got 1, and they're going to translate that into the Herald. And Bulldog looking pretty solid in this early game so far.
Bulldog showing us why they qualified last weekend to the UKLC. Putting up a fight. Fortel on this Nidalee now, looking to try and push himself ahead even further as Skadonica spotted out by the vision. So not really going to be able to do too much about that, unfortunately. Can't go for the play in this top side. The wave is going to crash in, and he will grab it. Harry and Dreampire are further and first down towards this bot lane. With that Rift Herald available, with a Ziggs in Bulldog's pocket as well, they actually have a really, really scary capability to go and take a tower in a single push. Always something that MnM have to keep in mind. As Vanguard, every time we look in this lane, is chunked by Thomas on this Yasuo.
I think it hits a point where things get a little bit more difficult. Karma just not able to put quite down as much damage to really harass the Yasuo. Double Dorans goes a long way just for the extra sustain, and then you're constantly dealing with that flow shield. It's just going to make things trickier and trickier. Like the thing is with the Karma is you throw down a skill shot, deal some damage to the wave, deal some damage hopefully to the Yasuo, and then you wait in a few seconds for it to be up and available again, whereas the Yasuo can just constantly keep queuing the wave, keep cutting through it. And right now you can see Harry and Dreampie kept looking to push up in the situation, but weren't willing to until Godunika's here. Largely to the fact that the Ornal is just such a strong engage potential.
Looking for that dive there. Godunika does have the ultimate available to him if he needs to. He's going to throw it out. Kira now, maybe to chase up. Harry needs to jump in. The Wild Growth has been used onto the Godunika at the moment, and Kira will fall. The tower goes down in the top lane in the meanwhile. That's going to be a second charge breaking out. Actually, Aragon should get there in time to intercept. He does.
Just before the charge range. Otherwise, the CC wouldn't have done anything to it. And although the tower goes down in favor of Bulldog, that wasn't really preventable. There's not much you can do. So at least you answer with something. You get the kill. Ultimately, it was a little bit messy, but no one goes down, so it's fine. Didn't even burn any summoners. You'll take that situation. You get a couple of plates on a Harry on this Aphelios. It's fine. At the end of the day, late stage of the game, this Aphelios is going to become incredibly difficult to deal with. That's not to say Bulldog really fall off, but when you have the likes of a Lulu and a Karma with the just guaranteed almost protection off this Kindred, it does make things a little bit concerning if MnM can get to the later stages of this match. Now, we
and
do
you
see
saw
Ziggs
there, Harry actually got a bunch of the solo plates to himself, while Jacob did share the plates with the rest of his team, so still would have pulled ahead in gold, but a lot of singular gold was funneled onto Harry there as well. So Harry got his Infinity Edge finished up. The Ocean Drake is just going to be given over. MnM Academy were resetting. They didn't really want to fight it. It's only the second Drake, but the next Drake they may look to contest, as we are looking at an Infernal map here.
Yeah,
the last thing you want is a Ziggs and a Nidalee running around with that Infernal Soul.
It just increases the poke, and I think critically on top of that, you're seeing a situation where you need to have a lot of burst for Bulldog. If you want to kill these targets before the shields come up again, you want to be able to burst. So the Infernal would be a big asset, but ultimately, MnM are making a decision here where they want to go for cross-map plays. They know they just want to get this game as late as possible, so they're willing to go on the other side of the map, give solo gold over to Harry in this situation, and keep trading and just extending the game. Both teams are going to get towards those later sort of win conditions in this scenario. And that favors MnM because they don't really have much tools to play around with in this early game. The Kindred just wants to take marks, but ultimately, trading is favorable for this blue side.
A lot of gold going into Harry still here. Kira being zoned off by the Godunika and Dreampire. They're doing everything to make sure Harry gets as much gold into him as physically possible. He will take down that turret. They trade out in the bot side. I think that is a trade that MnM are okay to take right now. 13 minutes on the clock. Taking stock of the gold lead at the moment. It's only 1k up to the side of Bulldog, considering they got that extra tower. Nothing too big. Nothing to scoff at, though. There's a lot of gold on to this jungle here. Fortel on the Nidalee. Looking pretty scary. Is Thomas going to get the camp denied from him by Godunika. And actually, that was a mark for the Kindred. So third mark picked up for the Kindred there, which means you'll run off that kind of first big spike.
Yeah, four's the big one where you get the extra range increase. That's significant. Ideally, you want to get that quite soon. Still doing all right in terms of time. Just try and pick up that last one. Obviously, it hasn't been a too sort of exciting game. The Kindred hasn't got too many kills or assists under the belt, so you're unlikely to see that many. But at the end of the day, you're still going to be relevant just down to the ultimate. It's just ultimately seeing if Harry can get to the point where he can really put out the damage in the later stages. Right now, though, the one thing that kind of puts a timer on the game is those dragons. So with 2 already in the pocket of Bulldog, it raises a question of when do MnM want to start contesting? Your options are you leave the 3rd, the enemy team is now on sole point, and you have to contest everyone from there. And if you miss a smite, you could end up losing it. Or what most teams choose to do is opt in to contest the 3rd and don't even let them get close to that point where they want to win. But we'll have to see. MnM may choose to stall out, but it looks like they're trying to apply some pressure here. But a nice lantern from Girish there does just mitigate any pressure. And talking about mitigating pressure, Ziggs with a Luden, that is the point where you can just destroy waves. And they really just shouldn't be able to push up. And now he's in the mid lane. He's in a comfortable spot doing that. Yasuo in a side lane is fine. So it really works out well for Bulldog, this arrangement.
And you see with the Fresh as well, just able to lantern Jacob out. It's so hard to actually punish him. So for now, it looks like it is just a matter of stalling out for the side of MnM, waiting until that dragon comes out and wait till you can lure the members of Bulldog over to that side of the map and then maybe look for your all-in. But scary fact about that is the Yasuo is going to get some gold in his pocket in that time. Got the Phantom Dancer now, be building towards that Infinity Edge. Thomas could be super scary. They land a hook here onto Gadonica. Has to use the ultimate nice and early. Teleports are breaking out, and Gadonica's just going to have to wait. He can't stick around for the heal. Moonlight Vigil does break down here as Vango onto that flank. Aragon throws out the ultimate. They're trying to put some damage into Kira. Kira will get tethered up. They follow him up with all of the CC available, but the hook does land onto Aragon. Aragon has to flash away out of the box. Thomas looking for a knock-up, unable to find it. Bulldog are actually the ones who get sent away.
Bit of a messy skirmish there, and ultimately Bulldog do have to back away with Jacob being no mana. Does have TP though. Ultimately, it was quite a scattered fight for MnM, where they were quite split up and divided. Ideally, they do want to be grouped up to benefit from the likes of the Kindred ult, but it does avoid certain AoE abilities like the Ornhorn and the Ziggs ult. So no one really goes down. It's just a bit of back and forth and cooldown burn. We do see the dragon spawning up in about a minute, so expect to see teams resetting and getting in position for that. You can see MnM have already reset 3 members.
And the big thing there is both of the teleports were used by the top laners, but Aragon also crucially used his flash. That will be down now for this dragon fight. There would not be the ability to kind of flash, grab onto one of these squishier members, one of these key members you want to be catching out. Kira is going to take a little bit of poke here, putting him a little bit lower for this dragon setup. Turrets are getting placed down by Harry. He has the flamethrower though, so he's able just to melt through these waves just as quick as Jacob can.
Hey, Harry can't really go for a recall here. Yeah, just cancel it. You have to move up and stop pressuring. The Ziggs has a lot of zone control.
Is an Infernal Soul. Really don't want to be giving this up. Satchel's going to get used. Gadonica, no ultimate available to him, so he has to be extra careful right now. Kira's going to get chunked out. That's the Mega Inferno Bomb onto 4 members as Gadonica can look to jump over the wall. They try to get the knock-up as they do get some serious damage on. Kira is going to go down. That's going to be secure. It's stolen away by MnM. They found themselves 2 kills already and 3 members are left standing. The health bars are just so low. Thomas caught in place and Harry will cut him down. Jacob is next to go. It's a double kill onto Harry. Vango has Fortail trapped underneath his tower as the noose is shutting. It is closing down. The shutdown for Fortail, but Gadonica will pick himself up a kill in response. 4 for 1 in favor of MnM.
Huge win there for MnM Academy. They just crushed that fight. Shout out to Vango. Despite playing the supportive Karma build, was looking for kills on that flank around the red side jungle. Blue side jungle, and was just able to cut in and find priority targets and shut them down and just put constant pressure down. So credit to the whole lineup there. Everyone was sort of doing their role, doing what they needed to do, but Vango's aggression on this Karma was really something else. And they get the dragon. The smite was secured by Gadonica, so well played to him. But ultimately, to win the fight as well, going 5 for 1 is just a huge advantage. Considering they were down in gold, they're now 1,000 up and in a pretty comfortable spot.
And when you got these double supports, it just makes Harry so much harder to kill. He's got the cleanse. He did use the flash in that last fight, but you got the Unholy Grail and the Affine's on Vango. The Affine's on to Dreampire. Harry is so hard to kill right now. There's so much support, so much shielding and just peeling available to him. With the front line from Aragon as well, it's tree making life even harder for the members of Bulldog, because you saw the knockup landed onto him, but Thomas was unable to get the kill because he was CC'd. He was rooted in place by Aragon. It
becomes so difficult at this point to try and kill these vital carries. And now that Harry is 4-2, he has 70% crit chance. He's got 2.5 items. He has become scary. He has hit that late game pretty early, and now he's just going to be a massive threat to the enemy team. Still potential for poke to cause an issue, since you don't know if he gets choked out a little bit there. Now the engage coming in.
Yeah, using that call of the forwards, got the Nature's Grasp into the Lamb's Rest bit. Thomas is unable to really let the damage sink in there. Harry unanswered on the front line, throws out the Moonlight Vigil. He's charging up those chakras, and Kara is just melting to Harry right now. Minions will block out from the snipe, but look at the damage. Look at the healing on Harry. He's back to full health.
Yeah, the sustain is insane, and the damage as well. You have to be so cautious when he has his chakrams charged up. And as much as the fight was in theory won by Bulldog because they got a kill advantage, by no ways can they challenge Harry. The turret goes down, and he's still looking extremely powerful right now.
Vango's just going to catch the wave, let them go to base. Harry's going to spend up. Running at 70% crit right now. Building towards his Essence River as his third and final crit item. Well, Jacob still just sitting on the components of his Leandra. He's got a Blasting Wand, got the Ruby Crystal, and the Amp Tome. But no much more.
Likely be a Phantom Dancer as the third item. Yeah.
Oh, for Harry, you're right. Yeah.
A lot of Aphelios. So originally there was that Essence Reaver Rush build, but a lot have pulled away, especially because there were nerfs to the damage coming out from Aphelios' abilities. They basically made it so the point you were normally hitting at level 9, you now hit at level 13 in terms of the scaling in it. But even before that, a lot of people transition to this build where you go Infinity Edge first, then Runans, because those two items are synergized so well for the champion. Then Phantom Dancer is the extra crit chance, attack speed, and critically the shield is a really strong aspect. So that's typically the build we're seeing really often. And then usually after that, you can just sort of fill around. Last Whisper into Lord Doms is a good option when you're facing tanks because you no longer get that free percentage pen, which you used to. And then Death Stance is a strong final option just to make you even harder to kill. And it interacts super well with the shields coming out from the team, because essentially the 20% damage that is stalled into a burn, it allows time for Dreamfire and Vango's cooldowns to come up and keep you alive. And it just means you're just very bulky with the resistances on top of that.
Cooldown reduction, lifesteal, damage reduction, armor, magic resist.
Is there anything
AD.
It doesn't do?
It's a perfectly balanced item, man. It's got a bit of everything.
Turning 80 carries into tanks.
Thomas actually just got spotted out by the sapling there, and he is making a break for it, but Vango is hunting him down.
Yeah, Karma is speedy.
Yeah, got that tether on. Thomas tries to dash away, but Windwall's up, Lantern's out. He's going to ping out.
5 seconds.
Now they might just look to turn it. Kara over the wall, making his way forward.
On this Infernal, priority's trying to be contested by Vango, but position around it is being secured by MnM. Question is, will Bulldog be able to push in for the fight?
Call of the Forge God's been used. Gallon is pretty low. That's going to be the Dragon already secured to get the charge off into Harry. Harry just flashes away. Wildgrove's used onto him. For the moment, he throws out the ultimate. Thomas is melted through. Harry now looking to chase up for more. Dreamfire's already picked one kill up. Vango's going in for the tether onto Jacob and will connect it. That's a double kill onto the Lulu. At this point, they've used the Lamb's Respite. The shutdown for Harry. MnM find 3. They find the Dragon, and they're turning straight towards Baron Nashor.
Just feels like there aren't any answers in this situation. Thomas goes in with a big ultimate there, but it's not enough to take down Harry. There's too much utility in shielding, and now it's just MnM turning onto Baron. They, by all means, have so much damage to do this with. Between the Aphelios, who has the Crescendum, the white weapon that does so much damage, especially to these neutral objectives, just doesn't really stand a chance.
Jacob maybe thought he could try to at least contest the tower, but throws out the satchel, throws out the zone. He's going to get caught out by the tether. The lantern gets thrown way too far off. Jacob is going to try and get away with it, but the slow lands on. Vango chasing in. The rest of the team have already picked up Baron, and Vango is just so speedy. He's able to dodge away on everything. They don't find the kill, but they get the Baron. They zone them away. They save the turret. And MnM, they've well and truly got a grip on this game. You can see the gold leads on your screen right now.
Yeah, pretty big disparity in this situation. in all honesty, only in the bot lane. You know, top lane's even. Jungle is actually in favor of Fortel on this Nidalee. Mid lane is pretty close. That entire gold lead is in the bot lane. 3,000 in favor of Harry. And the thing is, you got to compound that as well, because it's not just the fact that your carry is 3,000 gold ahead. It's Nephilios, who scales incredibly well, so factor that in. He has a Karma and a Lulu buffing him up, and he has the ultimate from Kindred to keep him safe. So realistically, this Nephilios is just incredibly strong right now, and they just don't have the tools to challenge it. Now, one good thing I can say is that Bulldog were the ones who managed to get that dragon in that last fight. So they're not that close to getting a soul, but right now with the Baron, they are looking to push in this situation.
Harry's just mincing through those waves. Now he's got his core crit items finished up. He's building towards that death dance. He's got the ages.
And it's just flat resistances from that item. And you got to factor in that typically an 80 carry is only going to have, like, you know, 1,700 health at this point of the game. But when you factor in all the shields, they get benefit from the resistances. So his effective HP may be as high as, you know, 3,500 with all the shielding and healing and the sort of Lulu ult that comes in. And then you add the resistances onto that, and this is actually a very tanky Aphelios.
Curious lands the hook. Garadonica able with the Dance of Arrows, able to dodge away from the bomb from Jacob. His tower is getting chipped away slowly but surely, and MnM look to step up. The smite has to come out from Fortel just to save the turret. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they're looking to catch everything out onto this Yasuo. The Lantern will save Thomas Go's life as he gets healed up by Fortel there.
Good Lantern to keep them safe, but still, it's just kind of staunching the bleeding at this point, trying to avoid confrontation because it is extremely scary. Although Harry is flashless, he has enough protection that it just doesn't matter.
You are seeing the power of the wave clear, though, for the side of Bulldog. Even with Baron, they've struggled to actually crack too many extra towers open. They have mounted themselves an advantage on the map, though. You can see the vision that has been placed down for them. With 1 minute 20 until that Infernal Soul for MnM spawns up. Sorry, for Bulldog spawns up. This could be the moment where Bulldog looks to try and get themselves some kind of advantage in this game, some kind of open opportunity. They are going to take down this tier 2 here. MnM head back towards the Baron, the Dragon area, maybe wanting to reset before they look to contest that objective.
Yeah, they want to ensure they have complete control of the Dragon. They don't want to risk a steal coming in from Nidalee, because as much as an Infernal Drake doesn't really change things, I mean, Infernal Soul doesn't change things massively, it's still not a good one to give away. And Harry gets the blue, they try and secure with the ults, but unable to do so. And they might not actually be up in time for the Dragon, but at this point, I feel like they're just not going to contest this one. I think a critical
Bulldog
thing
have at
to
least
note...
been able to deny this from MnM getting Dragon Soul, which is pretty big for them.
Yeah, keeps it further away. A critical thing to note is with the Infernal Soul map, it's a lot easier to be in the Dragon Pit. Typically, if you're in that pit with the normal sort of arrangement, very easy just to throw down some poke, and essentially you're trapped in the pit because of the sort of terrain. Infernal Soul removes a bit of the walling, so it just means much easier to move away and dodge skill shots and not feel trapped within, you know, such a small area.
She's taking note of what guns Harry has at the moment. He's got the Inferno and the Graviton, but they actually just go for an instant opening onto Dreampire. Dreampire uses the Wild Growth on himself, and actually, Thomas Go, he may be the one who's got caught out. The Lamb's Respite will hold his life for the moment as the Lantern comes down, but Garadonica chases him down. In goes Aragorn, though. He's gone into the middle
He's
of
invincible.
the team. Garadonica chasing for more. Vango got the speed up for the team. Fortel's just going to have to go golden. So use the Mega Inferno Bomb. That's going to be the end of the Nidalee. Garadonica flashes forward. The heal's fairly big, and it is enough for them to sink in for their second kill. Aragorn just doesn't care about towers. He is running straight into Jacob's face. They are going to be able to get themselves to the turret and to safety. And that should just be Garadonica heading back towards the Infernal Drake. MnM are going to try and crack open the base here, though.
And even with the wave clear from the Ziggs, it's just not enough. Aragorn can just walk forward and tank these skill shots. He's so bulky right now.
That's the Infernal Drake. That's the inhibitor falling down. MnM up in gold massively at this point. Up in pressure right now. And we saw Bulldog. That was a great opening for them. It was just the double support means it's so hard to actually kill anyone on MnM.
And I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to mention it again. I'm going to do it. Where was the Gragas? Nidalee just started to feel more and more non-impactful in this game. And that's the thing with Nidalee. You can have that early pressure, but unless you can make something happen with it, it's not going to amount to much. And I think about these team fights. I think about how they try and kill Harry on the Aphelios. You needed something that can sort of facilitate the engage and also put down damage, because the Gragas goes AP, it has enough damage that the Yasuo might actually be able to finish off Harry, but right now they're just lacking it. Even with the Yasuo, even with throwing the ultimate of Jacob down, it's not enough.
Not at all. No, I'm actually fairly certain Bulldog just got these crabs.
Jacob
they did.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least they denied that. They've got some kind of permanent vision at the Baron area for themselves.
All right, and I think at this point, Harry is just overtaken Aragon as tankiest on the team as he's finished Death Stance. And has basically traded his soul for invulnerability at this point. With the damage reduction from the resistances on top of the true damage conversion and the healing, it's going to be so hard to kill this Aphelios. Really going to take a conceited effort from all of Bulldog to find that opportunity. And that's the thing, even if they do, even if they kill Harry, Guernica is still a carry threat on this lineup.
Charging away to safety. Kira is able to put some distance away, but there are no towers now standing outside of Bulldog's base. They're in full-on turtle mode at the moment. Death's Dance is finished up onto Harry. He's got the cleanse. The flash is coming up fairly soon, about a minute and a half away from being up.
And that skull is actually important because that's the one thing keeping them from rushing the Baron right now. The vision control is so good for MnM. They've just swept it out throughout this jungle and they're starting to move through. The skull's still up, so they're very much aware of this, but they just don't care.
Yeah, Nature's Grasp should be enough to send them packing. And actually, looks like MnM, they want to peel away from the Baron. It was a bait. Felt like maybe they could have stayed and tried to finish it up. Vango is able to get himself a tether off onto Girish. They know that Girish is going to be key to catch. He's a lot of the safety for this team, and Girish is just melted through. Aragon secures himself the kill. The redemption heals everyone on MnM back up. Now they can look to restart up the Baron. So I think Guernica just went to go get himself another stat on his passive there. Now Harry actually looking for Kira. They've got the flank from Guernica. Ultimate's going to come out from Kira. He does get the knock-up into the last breath. Instant Lamb's respite means that he will hold his life for the moment, but their health bars are going to melt instantly. As they take out another two members, Vango going to get the tether off on to Fortail. Fortail goes golden. Fortail will fall as Vango secures the kill. And Jacob, only one standing right now. Still has a lot of wave clear to work with, so it doesn't feel like MnM can close yet, but they might just try to. Vango actually has the teleport. He can teleport to this super if they want to try and hold out for the moment. He's going to come in. Jacob gets chunked instantly, and the turret is going to be cut through so quickly. They use the satchel momentarily. Aragon can't really tank the tower, though, as that is a big explosion from Vango onto Jacob. Jacob doesn't really have the mana to work with. The Nexus is falling. 32 minutes on the clock. And MnM take down Bulldog.
And again, as you said earlier, it was a good start coming out from Bulldog. Just wasn't enough. Felt like they didn't have the tools to deal with MnM in the later stages. MnM started to find those really successful fights. And as soon as that happened, that was it. It was just MnM's game. And there was very little they can do. They would look for those engages. Lamb's Respite gets thrown down. And that's just enough to completely claim victory in their regards. Because if you can't kill Harry, if you can't kill Guernica, you're never going to win these fights.
No, you never are. Before we do a proper sum up on the game, I don't know if we got an interview. We'll find out after the break. We're going to have a quick break and be back in 2 minutes.